Welcome to The Critic and the Professor. I'm Doug Van Pelt.
And I'm Peter Emerson.
And we are here to talk to you about music. We're going to have rapid fire questions, and we're going to play musical reaction game, and we're going to get the professor to dissect music.
We're going to dissect music, and we're going to do it like a frog that's stuck to a board in a biology class.
With very long needles.
Yeah, it's going to be painful for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yep. But mostly for the frog.
Ready for the rapid fire round?
Let's do it.
Oh, well, actually, we got to run that bumper, don't we?
We do. Silly bumpers.
Cue the bumper.
That was a lovely bumper, wasn't it?
Oh, it's great. It's the best.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to write it, but it's going to be epic.
Whoever composes that should just wear a Beatles Yellow Submarine shirt.
They should.
Yeah.
Hey. How awesome is that?
You ready for the rapid fire questions?
I am ready.
Rapid fire.
Okay,
go.
Peter.
Mm-hmm.
What does the root of the word octave have to say about the definition of that very word?
Well, an octave refers to 8 tones. Thus,
Octopus.
Thus, oct.
Oct.
Right. So if you're going up a musical scale, it has 7 tones, and then once you reach the octave, so if you're at C on the piano, middle C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Once you reach C again, that's the 8th note. Mm-hmm. So 7 unique tones in the scale, and it starts repeating itself at the octave.
Would that be the high C when you get to that point?
Well, it depends on which C you start on. So
middle C?
Middle C would be C4, and then you go to C5, C6, all of that.
Okay.
And go below, you're going to 3 and 2.
I do enjoy the high
and such.
C orange drink we have in these mugs.
Oh, drink the Kool-Aid. There we go.
See.
Okay.
All right. Your turn.
All right, my turn. Name a vastly, I was told that's an important word, vastly overrated heavy metal album.
Oh, that's a tricky question. It could get me in trouble.
Yes, I like that.
Vastly overrated.
Dun, dun, dun.
Doug's
on the hot seat.
I'm going to say Metallica's Ride the Lightning is vastly overrated.
Okay, explain.
It's considered a classic, and I just don't get it. I guess it was groundbreaking, super fast out of the gate. One of the very first of that style of music.
Okay.
Set the bar high for speed metal thrash. But I will tell you a Metallica story. You mentioned that you saw Injustice for All tour as your first Metallica tour. I saw them on the Master of Puppets tour. Cue the applause. Everybody's so proud of me for seeing that show.
Yeah,
Cliff
there you
Burton
go.
on bass. Opening for Ozzy Osbourne. I remember
Oh, nice.
friends of mine in college, a part of the Christian fellowship I was part of, was really scared for me. Oh, you're going into the den of Satan to see Ozzy Osbourne live. He's going to bite the head off of something at that concert.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about you, Doug, going to that show. But Metallica opened.
What year would this
That
have
would
been?
have been,
Mid-'80s?
yeah, 85 or 86.
Yeah.
Might have been 84. Gosh, put me on the spot there. Years.
Yeah, well, if it's Ozzy and Metallica, it's got to be at least mid-'80s.
Yeah. Frank Erwin Center, Austin, Texas, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, did he indeed bite the head off of something?
Nope.
Not that you're aware of?
I saw Ozzy play Austin in 1982 with the great band Vandenberg opening up. And I was
Wow.
very angry at the way the whole show was run because of Ozzy Osbourne's reputation. The year prior, he got inebriated and he urinated on the Alamo and was banned to play San Antonio. So the next tour, they had to play Austin. And I remember some of the signs inside the arena said, "Remember the Alamo."
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was funny. But because of Ozzy's reputation, they were frisking and body checking everybody, not the hockey player body check, but they were checking everybody and security. And I could hear Vandenberg hit the stage and go on. That's who I came to see. The Vandenberg with Adrian Vandenberg on guitar, their debut album from Denmark, is just an incredible band.
And you were still queued up for a cavity
Still
search?
queued up for a cavity search. It was
Oof.
horrible. Got to only see like 3 or 4 songs, maybe less than that. But got to see Ozzy on that tour as well.
There you go. Fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. And the album, once again, was Metallica's
Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning.
Yes.
Vastly, and I mean vastly, according to Doug, overrated. Address all your letters to Doug Van Pelt.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Peter, what is good about metal?
What is good about metal? Metal is honest. I really think that there's an honesty to metal that is it's not trying to be something that it's not, if that makes sense. It is a great way to capture energy, and it really plays on that energy and the drive. So, but I am struck by the honesty of the emotion of whatever the song is, and this is obviously not true across the board for all metal artists and all of that. But in my experience, it's just raw and honest emotion on whatever that subject is, and that's pretty striking.
Prior to that caveat that you mentioned, I think Kurt Cobain might have disagreed with you, but with that caveat that not all metal you can say that about, I think he would definitely agree. Now, the grunge revolution was kind of inspired by the excess and the polish and the genericness of what metal had become.
Well, I think that it's not necessarily metal that he was rebelling against. It was the glam bands and the hair bands, which I don't necessarily equate that with metal. To me, that's a little bit more performative, and it's the MTV bands as opposed to what's true metal. I mean, because was Metallica a big MTV hit? I mean, they had a couple. They had a couple of songs on there that were hits, but they weren't focused on image, and I think that's what they were going against. It's the same. It's the same criticism that I had of a lot of rap artists back in the late 80s and early 90s as well, and it was all about image and not about the substance, and so. I think that you're onto something there, but I don't personally equate metal with glam, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but to me, I understand that, and I can see why Kurt Cobain would want to reject what he was seeing on MTV at the time. What he did with it personally didn't ever speak to me.
Yeah, well, I like your answer, and I'm proud of your answer. I was just taking Kurt Cobain's stance. I think Kurt Cobain would love Black Sabbath, but not Winger. So there you go.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
Hair metal was kind of the corporate side of heavy metal, corporate rock.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to sell tickets to the teenage girls that wanted to wear leather and lace, for sure. Yeah.
Well, moving right along, is it your turn?
I believe it is. What does it mean when a critic says that an album is solid, or a concert performance was solid?
That means it sucked.
That means it sucked.
It sucked. When you say that performance was solid, you're trying hard to find a nice thing to say.
You're fishing for compliments.
You're wanting to be positive instead of brutally honest and negative, and that's kind of a little joking aside, a little bit sarcastic of an answer there, but pretty much when you use the word solid, you're basically saying it was solid. It was expected. It was average. You met the expectations. It was solid. And a solid drum performance is you can think of Power a little bit, but by and large, it became the cliche answer for a critic or a friend to say, Yeah, it wasn't. Meh.
Meh.
Yeah.
I may have told you this story before, but I'm going to share it again for our audience because I know they haven't heard it. But I spent a lot of time in theater, and when I was in school in Boston, I was at Berklee College of Music, also studying jazz there, and I was involved in musical theater as a music director, conductor, pianist, and I had a lot of friends in the theater world, and one of them sang on my album, It's You I See. She sang a duet with me that I wrote called What Should I Do? And Molly Beck was her name, and fantastic singer. Well, she was doing this world premiere of a musical called Jack the Ripper, the Whitechapel Musical. Okay, so somebody actually wrote a musical about Jack the Ripper. Yes, okay. So not the strangest thing in the world, because Stephen Sondheim had done Sweeney Todd, and Sweeney Todd was about the demon barber of Fleet Street, and that's about this barber that gets sent to prison colony in Australia and makes his way back to London during the Industrial Revolution, changes his name, his looks are a little different and all of that, and he wants to get revenge on the judge that sent him over there erroneously, trumped up charges and all of that. It's a brilliant piece of work, but it's dark. I mean, it's a dark comedy. It's got really funny moments in it. Angela Lansbury was in it as Mrs. Lovett, and it is this beautiful musical score that really, really, if you listen to episode 1, we talked about consonance and dissonance. So really, really dives into this dissonance and then resolves into this consonance that really just is like this relief after all of this crunching harmonies that are just assaulting your senses, and then it just goes into this beautiful consonant chord. Well, anyway, back to Jack the Ripper. So Molly invited me to the premiere, opening night, Jack the Ripper, the Whitechapel Musical. And she was playing one of the prostitutes that got killed and all of that. And I'm sitting there. I didn't know anybody else there. I'm just by myself. I got a front row ticket. And it was just an assault on the ears. It was dissonance, 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 dissonance. It was like being at an Yngwie Malmsteen concert. It was just too much. Mm-hmm. Dissonance is good, but you have to relax it. You have to let that tension go. So the tension is only good if there's a release of tension. It's like a jump scare only works if people let their guard down, right?
Yeah.
So this was just tension and dissonance for dissonance sake. And the contrast is in Sweeney Todd. There's a song called "Nothing's Gonna Harm You, Not While I'm Around," and Toby sings this, "Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you." It's beautiful melody. Beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. And they're talking about committing murders and protecting the woman from the guy that's committing these murders with them, because he knows that they're all tangled up together. It's beautiful melody with dark subject matter, but if you just take that song out of context and listen to that song, there's almost nothing in that song that would tell you that there's anything wrong going on, which is really disconcerting, okay? Mm-hmm. So the song is going, and then all of a sudden, the second verse, Stephen Sondheim puts this high solo violin line in, and it starts hitting these notes that are not quite in the scale. Mm-hmm. Dissonance just over top of this beautiful harmony that's in there, and you're like, ooh, what's happening here? Something is afoot at the Circle K, as Bill and Ted would say. So this dissonance creeps in. All right, so once again, I'm getting a little long-winded here, but back to Jack the Ripper, the Whitechapel musical.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking with Molly about this at the end of the show, and she's like, wow, what did you think? And I was like, man, that was really hard to sit through. And she's like, I know, it's really it's not that great and all of that. And we're talking and we're having this conversation, this honest conversation about the show. And the composer and director comes bouncing over, gets right up in front of me, and says, well, what did you think?
Pressure's on.
I went, oh, that was pleasant.
Solid.
I literally told him that his musical about a serial killer that was hacking prostitutes apart was pleasant. I was so aghast. I was just put on the spot, and I didn't really know the guy. I'd met him like once maybe.
Yeah. And
that he would even spend a moment talking to me, I was surprised. And I told him that his serial killer musical was pleasant, and it didn't seem to register with him, and he just bounced off and went to the next person, and so that was fine, and there was no fallout from that. But from then on, I vowed that I was going to have an answer that was neutral, that you would be able to say, hey, was that good? And your answer is, wow. That's it. You just say, wow. What else can I say? And they'll interpret that however it is that they want and go off. So
mostly complimentary.
So if you ask me a question and I go, wow.
Now I know.
You might want to ask some follow-up questions. There we go. Okay. So,
all right, Peter.
Yeah.
Final question to wrap it around from me.
Okay.
How many keys are on the standard guitar?
66. No, 62.
This is not the bridge of truth.
They're varying sizes. This particular one, I believe, is 62. The one that I have over there in the corner, I think is a few less than that. So that's, I don't know that there is a standard size, but I've got about 2.5 octaves on this one. Was there 1, 2, 3? No, I have 4 octaves.
Oh, hey.
Look at that. Look at that. I have 4 octaves there.
Rock on.
Rock on indeed. Okay, last question for you.
Here we go.
What concert surprised you the most in a good way?
Well, I was at the ACL Festival, Austin City Limits Festival, in Zilker Park in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
I don't know what the acreage is, but it's a giant park surrounded by trees. They had like 4 or 5 major stages, and then about maybe half that many, or maybe 4 more smaller stages. And 2 of the main stages were on the far west end of the park. And they had giant stages, video screens on both sides. And ACL Fest is predominantly kind of an Austin music scene, kind of majors in the blues and alternative and kind of folk rock or hippie rock or alternative rock. And I was there to see the band Muse.
Okay.
And Muse is a trio from England. And they came on that stage with power chords and lots of dissonance and lots of energy and lots of videos and lots of flashing strobe lights. And I felt like I was at Woodstock, and a surprise musical guest, Black Sabbath, was invited on stage, and they played their power metal, and all the flowers in the hippies' hands wilted because it was just... Muse came off like Queensryche, like a metal band that had something to prove. They didn't let up. That was just on fire. The videos were impressive. They were amazing. It was captured your attention. It was rapid fire, and it blew me out of the water. It was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And part of what made it so great was the expectation and the context it was really a juxtaposition. You didn't expect an aggressive band to come out there and take no prisoners and try to destroy their audience with an assault like that. It was musically proficient. It was melodious, but it was aggressive as all get out. And Muse isn't a metal band, but man, they kind of came across as one in that context.
Wow.
A lot of mellow music of the 3-day weekend, and here they were just taking no prisoners. It was just fantastic.
Awesome. Very good.
All right.
All right, and that wraps up our rapid fire questions, which we answer in a meandering and less than rapid fire kind of way.
Rapid fire.
You ready for this? Okay, do you want me to just come over here and...
Oh, okay, so we got to set up this segment because once again, Mr. Doug is going to try to play something, and he's going to play something that I will not be aware of. He's going to introduce me to this and ask for my first impressions.
Main feature.
All right.
There we go.
Let's do this. Rotate it around.
Ooh. Human Code, Evermore. Look at that. Definitely a keyboard player.
Yeah.
They haven't shown his picture yet, though. Actually, they're showing it as a four-piece band.
Yeah, the guitar player plays keyboard, and the bass player does too.
In a world of justice, there would be no more war. Isaac had a promise, but Ishmael wanted more. So through the centuries, a brother sought for blood. Fury was his envy. Forever would he kill his king, steal his line, take your land for mine. No love spared, none can find. Blood stains Abram's
So we got to the chorus here. Let's stop it after the chorus here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Little bridge there. Okay, cool. All right, so first impressions on this, it opens up with this Eastern kind of guitar riff in there, but then I had to chuckle to myself because just like what we heard in the last episode, this opens up vocally with a chromatic embellishment of static harmony. Just on that bum bum bum. So it's you probably didn't even pick that on purpose, but you probably didn't even realize that both of those songs had that right at the top of it. So perhaps that's something that shows up in more metal music than you would think. But once again, that has that chromatic embellishment of that static harmony. So he's playing one chord, and then vocally and with the melodic line, he's allowing that to go down in half steps while that one dum bum bum chord just hangs out there. This is a little bit more melodic than the last piece that we listened to, which was Tourniquet, and that was
Broken Chromosomes.
Plural, broken chromosomes. So this is a little bit more melodic to my ear, and I think I would probably identify a little bit more with this than I would with the Tourniquet. Although I didn't dislike the Tourniquet at all, I thought it was very well done. With this. I like that it started out with this kind of in musical terms we would almost refer to it as Spanish Phrygian. So Phrygian, if you're talking modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian is the third mode. Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Those are the 7 modes. So if you're thinking about here's your music theory lesson with this major scale, Ionian is whole step, half step, whole step, half step, gets you to the octave, which we learned about last time. Mm-hmm. Dorian has a slightly different pattern. It's not whole step, half step. It's whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. Right, so you're shifting everything up by one note in the scale, and so the way that scale works is a little bit different. When you get to Phrygian, the Phrygian is really cool because it is a minor mode as well. So it has a root, a minor third, and a perfect fifth. But from the root to the second scale degree is that half step, dee dee dee, which puts tension going into your tonic note, as we call it, the root note, and that tension of the half step, the leading tone is on the top, as opposed to in the major scale, the leading tone is T do from below. The half step's coming from above. So la da dee 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 ya da ya da da da. That's that half step there, and that's that Phrygian mode. So the Spanish Phrygian gives us a major third on top of that. Ya da 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 da. That's a major third. In Phrygian mode, regular Phrygian, da 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 da, is a minor third, but the Spanish Phrygian gives us that major third in there, which increases the distance between the second and third scale degree, right? And it gives it that major sound, but with the dissonance of the Phrygian in there as well. And they employed that in here, and so there was a little bit of that Spanish Phrygian. And then once it went into another part of the song, it just went straight up minor. It's like, oh, okay, wow. They started out with this Spanish Phrygian thing, but now they hit minor, like straight up minor. And I was like, oh, okay. And it kind of went back and forth between that, and then once again hitting that chromatic embellishment of static harmony, which we would call a CESH, C-E-S-H, chromatic embellishment of static harmony. Once again, brought to us by Doug Van Pelt and our new band, which is
Human Code.
Human Code. Break the silence.
Yeah.
Human Code. I like it. It's very well produced. How old is this?
This came out in 2025.
Oh wow! Okay, so real current.
And in the 40th anniversary issue of Heaven's Metal, the Christmas issue, which you held up last time, we put together a list, like I've been wont to do with anniversary issues. The 25th anniversary of HM had the top 100 Christian rock albums of all time. Also, the 25th anniversary of Heaven's Metal Fanzine came out with a top 100 Christian metal albums of all time, which focused on the metal genre. For the 40th anniversary, we decided, instead of redoing the top 100 list, we were just going to start at 2010, which is our 25th anniversary, and say the top 25 albums since 2010. And this album was numero uno.
Wow.
By the dozen and a half or a dozen or more Heaven's Metal magazine editorial staff.
Well done.
We all voted our top 25, and this one was the number one. It's just
all right.
Produced by Dino Elefante, who was the brother of John, who were producers that, John was in Kansas, and Dino got some songwriting credits for that Vinyl Confessions album. But yeah,
well done, Human Code. I'm going to have to check out the rest of that album.
Yeah, very excellent stuff. So I got some questions for you, Professor.
Okay. Fire away.
So we talked about in heavy metal music, especially, you've got technical proficiency.
Right.
You've got a standard of excellence. You want to hit the right notes. You want to practice and know your songs. And so I really want to get into the difference and importance between technical proficiency and feeling? And how do you get how do you graduate from technical proficiency to feeling and emotion?
I can't really speak to that in metal so much, but let me speak to it in jazz or in classical music. In jazz or in classical music, if you're a vocalist, then if you're singing perfectly in time, it's going to sound stale. It's going to feel wrong if you're singing perfectly in time.
Even though you're in perfect time.
Yes, absolutely. The best ever, Ella Fitzgerald, no question. Number 2, Mel Torme. You listen to those two singers and listen to how they sang in time. How, like I said before, are they choosing to be slightly behind the beat, slightly ahead of the beat? Or are they right on the beat? Or are they mixing it up? Or why are they doing it? And how are they doing it that? There is more emotional currency in stretching a phrase than there is singing it perfectly in time.
Example?
Not that I can sing right off the top of my head or quote.
Knocking on Heaven's Door? Heaven's Door. Is that an example?
No, that's not necessarily an example.
Stretching.
That's not exactly what I'm referring to. That's taking a word and stretching the word out, but the word still comes on the beat. Heaven's door instead of heaven's door, right? Where the execution of the word is displaced in the time. So being able to see where the peak of the phrase is and know how to target that phrase to where the important content of the phrase lyrically or if it's instrumentally even, just where is the peak of that phrase? What's the point of the phrase? Right? Are you just playing? Are you just regurgitating a bunch of notes that come out really fast? Sorry, Yngwie. I keep coming back to Yngwie. You can address your letters to Doug Van Pelt, please.
Yeah.
But in metal and rephrase your original question because I don't want to stray too far from it.
Technical proficiency versus feeling.
Yeah, technical proficiency versus feeling. So you can have all the technical precision and facility on your instrument, but if you don't also have feeling, then the dexterity and the proficiency and all of that is going to fall flat. It's just going to fall flat. And it's once a matter of having a really, really, really powerful sports car. You got to know when to just sit and let that engine idle, right? And once again, everything's about contrasts, and it's. I choose to put this phrase perfectly in time, and then when I do that same phrase again later, I'm going to let that float out there a little bit differently so that it hits a little bit differently.
Stands out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I might lean into this word in the chorus this time, and then the next time I might choose to lean into something else a little differently, just so that the audience just gets something different. Because one of the criticisms that I have of modern pop music or pop music in general since the 80s, I guess, is that a lot of it is cut and paste. It's like, all right, well, we got into the studio. All right, backup singers, we only need you to nail the chorus once.
Yeah.
Because then we're just going to cut and paste.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna splice it over if they're actually recording onto analog tape. But nobody does that anymore. We're all digital world, so it's all, hey, we got one good one. We're gonna And I'm guilty of that too. I've done that too for demos and things like that. I'm not necessarily releasing that stuff, but that means that every time you hear it, it's going to be exactly the same. And to me, that's a little boring.
Yeah.
So orchestrationally, you want it to be a little bit different. You want it to hit differently.
Okay.
You know, so technical proficiency, really, really important. But you can have somebody that, okay, here's a great example. And I'm going to get hate mail for this too, but it's true. There is no reason why anybody should want to listen to Willie Nelson's voice. And yet everybody wants to listen to Willie Nelson's voice. Why? It's because his phrasing and his emotional grasp on the content that he's singing is bar none far above his peers. Because the tonal quality of the voice, not that great. I mean, it's really nasally, it's really just grumbly, it has its own charm that way. But if you were to take his emotional connection to the lyric that he's singing and his ability to phrase it, if you were to take that out, nobody would want to listen to it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Nobody would want to listen to it. Bob Dylan, the same way. A very abrasive sound. But it's his ability to phrase that makes it brilliant.
Okay, so if I'm holding my hymnal or looking at a piece of musical notation, it's the embellishment or the deviation from what I'm seeing on the page that makes the difference. Would that be accurate? Like, how do you notate this bit of stretching a phrase, or do you?
You don't.
You don't. Okay.
You don't. You can't.
Okay.
You really can't. You can't put that into music notation.
Yeah.
So I used to say that when I was teaching my jazz program, I used to have the students think about this. I'd say, "Hey, I'm trying to teach you how to swing. You know, here's boo va doo va doo va doo va doo va did do va." Okay, so that line swings. Most people think swing is do va doo 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 da. What's the difference there? Which one was better?
A lot, yeah.
Which one was better?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Right? So it's how do you place the swing note? Where do you put the emphasis? And you have to learn this. But the notation for it is eighth note, 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 eighth note.
Okay.
Which is do va 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 da, which is totally straight. Right? So there's no difference between notating swing and notating standard time.
Okay.
None. What is different is that you say, hey, this is swing. It has to be interpreted as swing. So if aliens came down from outer space and they knew how to play all of our instruments somehow, I don't know how, and you put a big band chart in front of the alien band, right?
Yeah.
And like, all right, here's some Count Basie. Go. If they've never heard swing, they wouldn't be able to play it. They wouldn't be able to play it because it's what we call performance practice. And the same thing is true of Bach and most all Baroque music as well. Because, you know, Bach said, if it's not Baroque, don't fix it.
He didn't really say that.
He might have said it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But performance practice. So there's lots of embellishments and turns and trills and these enclosures and all of these things that happen in this music. And if you were to write everything that you could possibly write in instruction to a musician, to tell them what they are supposed to do on a piece of music, there'd be so much ink in there and there'd be no white space on there. You wouldn't be able to see anything because it would be all instruction. It's like, here, read the entire dictionary.
Yeah.
Right? So the performance practice is that you need to know that if you're playing a long note, that you hit the long note and you get out of the way and then you put a gentle crescendo on it so that it gives that note shape. And you're shaping individual notes and you're thinking about you're thinking about music on a level that is not just I'm just playing a note, there it is, but and then that has shape to it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that note has motion, because the change in the dynamics is what makes the dynamics work, as we talked about before. You can't have loud if there's not soft, right? And the change also gives you some sort of forward motion in the music. So in metal, I don't know how that's achieved. Maybe they do that with faster sections and slower sections. Maybe they do that with some sections that go to halftime or whatnot. It seems to be a little bit more forward leaning most of the time. The little breakdown sections, like we heard in the psychosurgery,
broken chromosomes.
That little breakdown section in there that I referred to as the Barry White section, right, where he's just kind of speaking through that portion of it with stuff that breaks it up and puts that change in there. But how do you get the emotion out of it and balance that with the technical? Once again, it comes down to listening, listening and just being aware of how a phrase can move people. And if somebody just is singing straight, then it doesn't, for some reason, have that same emotional connection. Once again, I've talked too much.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I've got some very important questions that I'm going to wait until the next episode, because we've just really dissected this well, and really that an example that I and a lot of guitar players would point to would be Michael Schenker. He's got more feeling in his fingers than many of us have in our whole body, and Vinnie Moore, an incredible neoclassical guitar player, replaced Michael Schenker in UFO, or later on took the lead guitar part in the band UFO, but doesn't sound anything like Michael Schenker. He's playing maybe the same notes, but Schenker is able to embellish and put feeling, bending the strings a little bit on notes that sound night and day difference between proficiency and feeling, and it's just it means everything.
Yeah, and that's the Phil Kagi approach as well.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So, well, thank you for joining us for episode 2 of The Critic and the Professor. And once again, I'm Peter Emerson, and this is Doug Van Pelt, and we will see you next time. Check out our sponsors and where our podcast is located.
Yep, Sanctuary International Matrix is on YouTube, and Heaven's Metal is a playlist that we're on. And this new show, The Critic and the Professor, is presented from heavensmetalmagazine.com and herulestheworld.com.
herulestheworld.com. And I wanted to say, we were talking about that Spanish Phrygian in there.
Yeah.
So check out Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella. Guitar solo in that, Spanish Phrygian, if you want to know about it. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever else you consume your streaming.
There you go. And have some fun with us. Leave some comments on YouTube and share the video.
That's right. All right. Thank you much, folks. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy.